Perfect. Thank you all for attending. So this is split into a few portions, but this first portion, we'll go ahead and start with the panel up here. We're joined by Rapids head coach Chris Armas and midfielders Djordje Mihailovic and goal Bassett. So we will start off with general thoughts from Chris, and then we'll open up to a Q&A on the floor. Chris?
Thanks, Emilio. And thanks, everyone, for being here. I can only tell you that this time of year, for a head coach, for a staff, for players, it's one of the most exciting times of the year. Of course, we love the end of the year when it's all about trophies and all that stuff. But for those of us who love this process, that feel so fortunate to be, in our positions to do what we do, the energy right now when you get these guys back in the building, staff back together again, new players and big signings coming through our team, our room full of media and extended staff. The energy is amazing. We feel privileged, and it's real excitement going into 2025. What I would say about 2025 is we want to build upon last year. We think we really worked hard. A lot of people, if not everyone in this room, to get onto something and start building something special. We think we have a strong foundation that is built on real things that can hold up in real games, a strong culture, but good foundations are meant to be built upon, and that's the plan for 2025. We like our team. These guys to my left here give us a lot of confidence that we can do great things again. Seeing the way the staff worked in the offseason gives me confidence we can do great things again. Seeing how the upper management, Porig Smith and friend Taylor and the scouts pushed, whether it's the draft, roster decisions, gives me a lot of confidence we're going to do great things again. So the idea, again, 2025 is to build upon it. But by that, what I mean is we got a taste of some good things last year. And I'd say a taste because there's more. There's more to come for us, and we're really hungry for that. So in the most humble way that we know, the most honest way that we know how to work, it's just not enough. The taste of the playoffs, taste of lifting that trophy, that Rocky Mountain Cup, taste of watching our guys stand tall in the League's Cup, penalty after penalty, that gave us a taste. And now what that does show us is that we have a lot. We think we have even enough, but that there's more, that we did fall short in some ways, and that's okay, because that's life in sport. So again, great to see everyone here. To the media, it was great to get to know all of you guys and gals, and thanks for being part of our day and in our journey moving forward.
Braden Nurse with the Denver Post. Cole, how's the quad? Djordje, how's the ankle? And how'd the offseason treat you guys physically and mentally? Thank you.
Yeah, doing well. Good to see all you guys as well. Quad's doing good. Calf's feeling pretty good. A lot of rehab these last couple months just to make sure it's good to go, but I'm thinking we should be 100% come Monday when we start.
Same thing. Spent this last 2 months kind of focusing on getting back to full health, and I think in maybe a week or two, I should be full training.
Matt Pollard, Burgundy Wave. Chris, I remember at the end of the final game against LA Galaxy, you talked about the 3-4-3, the different nuance that you tried in that game, and that being something that was interesting. You've acquired a couple center backs in the offseason. What are you thinking tactically for the game model and formationally? And I know we talked last year about how it took a little bit of time for you to implement that. Is coming into your second year, is this more developed, or is there more nuance to come that either you had planned or that off of that experiment in that playoff game you think is an idea for the team potentially as a secondary option? Thank you.
Matt, it's a good question, and we've, when you have downtime the way we have, right? We watch different teams. It's Liverpool, it's Newcastle, the way different teams attack and defend in different parts of the field. And I think in some ways it reinforces that we're onto something good, the way we do all those things. And then we're thinking of tweaking. We're not looking to totally change what we do, Matt. we play in possession in a very narrow 4-2-3-1. We're going to look to build upon that. Again, we scored a lot of goals last year out of that structure, and we try to put some of our best players in the best positions to do that. I think one of the things we want to address is defensively, and the 3-4-3, which looks like a 5 in the back at times, a 4-1-4-1, which gives us some cover in the wide areas. We want to get better structurally defensively. So we're going to try a few things in preseason. And, the last part of that is we defend in different structures as it is, depending who we play against and how teams are trying to build against us. So I think the main one is that we're going to look to play mainly in a 4-2-3-1. And try to get better in all ways in that structure. Build upon the good things from last year. Sure.
Coach, we talked about a lot of the success that the team had last season. If winning the MLS Cup is the main goal, what would be another tangible goal this season to show that the team is continuously improving?
Well, Keith, for me, every trophy that's out there, we want to be in it. That for me is the ultimate. So MLS is the last one on the calendar, and we're going after that again. We want to be playing in those decisive games. So like last year, every one that was out there, we found ourselves making a run at, and that's our goal as a club, and that's what these guys want. On those days when we're in some of those competitions, they all want to play, and you can see like these two guys here. I don't know if I have a choice, right? I don't know how many he's a fisherman. I've not gone fishing with him yet. But I don't think he goes fishing to catch the least fish and the smallest ones. These guys, Cole Bassett, do you want to comment on that?
I go for one, and I'm happy.
I don't believe that. Okay. And Cole Bassett, his mate over there, there's not many things I've seen this guy do that's not to win and to compete. So our goal is we have our tiny goals to get better defensively, to get sharper in our style of play. We're a real team, but there's a trophy out there. We're going after it, Keith. That's plain and simple.
We'll have you raise your hand if you have any questions.
Chris, Pat Radigan, Footy at 5280. You mentioned, I think it's interesting you mentioned the different formations you might toy around with, but just regardless of where it winds up, how much was defensive versus, because we've seen Keegan and Reggie both play both sides. They could play that wing back, they could play inside. The guys who are coming into your system have played in a 3-back system, but they both have some pretty traditional defensive qualities. How important is the versatility of your various defenders going to be toward you finding that defensive structure?
Listen, we always are thinking how to put these guys in the spaces and positions that they can be at their best. So if it's Reggie Cannon, he's more of a defensive fullback, but he likes to get forward. Sam Vines, he likes to fly out there. So when we tilt Reggie and Keegan lower and build in a 3, this is something we do. But again, we don't go into a game saying it's building in 3 every time. It's how is the opposition building pressure? Are they stepping in with 1? We don't need 3. We build with 2. If they're stepping with 2, it's 3. We're always trying to create a +1. And there's always little nuances why we do what we do structurally. I think when 4-2-3-1, a 3-2-5, it's only starting points, but it's oftentimes based on opposition. Where's the space? So, listen, I think we just want to be able to train a different system so that we can be a little more unpredictable and have variability in what we do and in different parts of the pitch, right? So when we're in a high press, it's really about going after it. We're in hunt mode. We man mark in moments as opposed to a low block. We're just taking away the block box. It's maybe a 5-4-1 or really squeezing the back line. So we have different ways we achieve that. We're just thinking how can we help these guys that in those moments in different parts of the pitch, give them solutions to all the challenges teams can throw at us.
Hi, Dwayne Brown, DMVR. Djordje, last year you got your 1 fish with the goal contributions record. Do you have your eyes on another fish for the assist record? And if so, how do you build upon last year to get to that?
I don't really go into the season's looking for those kinds of records. I think it's what I'm looking for this season and seasons to come is maintaining that type of level consistently over 3-4 years, putting those types of numbers up. That's kind of what I'm going for. And yeah, that assist record is pretty cool too. I think I'm gonna go for it.
Chris, Mauricio Jaramillo, Telemundo Colorado van a jugar 3 torneos, MLS, Leagues Cup y la CONCACAF. ¿Alguno es más importante o más soñado para ustedes?
Cole, can you help here? Go ahead. I mean, seriously. Mauricio, vamos, por favor.
Creo que vamos a jugar en los 3 torneos con todos porque queremos ganar todos. Si solo podemos todos de nuestros jugadores en un torneo, no podemos tener una oportunidad para ganar los 2 otros. Entonces, la primera es CONCACAF y queremos que ganar esto y sabemos que vamos a traer otros jugadores para ayudarnos en este torneo y sí, vamos a sacar 1 a 1 cada tiempo, pero 1 partido a 1 y vamos a ver cómo haces.
Wow.
Bravo.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was right, but
Cole, last season we kind of joked about you being one of the elder statesmen on the team. Now that Sam's joining the team, does that changes any at all? Is there any friendly competition between the two on who will have the better performance as the season goes on?
I think there's obviously going to be a bit of competition just because we play similar sorts of positions. So we're definitely going to be battling it out, I think, in the midfield. But it's good. I think it'll definitely be fun to see him step up into this game and get to compete with us and just guys throughout the league that, have played at this level for a while. So, yeah, there's going to be competition. I think we've always set out between each other to just each season, like who can score more, who has, more goals and assists. But yeah, it should be exciting. I think we're excited to play together for the first time. We've never done it. We've always trained together throughout the years, but we've never actually been on the same team. So this is something that we've been looking forward to for a long time, and he's earned it. So I'm happy for him.
Question for the players. How does having LAFC and Conca champions to start the season kind of change that focus given what LAFC was like against you guys last year? Or is it more big picture, have success? And then Chris, I know the team's more formed than it would have been this time last year. What else are you looking at when the window officially opens up later in February? Thank you.
So I thought about playing LAFC again. I like that matchup the first game. We played them the first time at home, had a good result, and the last few times weren't so good. And it's a nice way to start the season in this kind of competition. We go against them, get through them, play against Columbus Crew, go against them, win, and it's a good route. We have to prove that we can get past those types of teams and show that we're a top team in the West for the rest of the season.
Yeah, similar echo that. I think if our ultimate goal is MLS Cup, we obviously want to win each competition as it comes, but to win MLS Cup, you got to get through those types of teams at the end of the year, and I think that's that next step for this group is beating those top teams consistently. We had moments where we did it, but we also had moments where they beat us as well, and they did it in ways that we don't think we should get beat like that, 3-0, 4-0. So it's important for us to take this competition seriously, and we're obviously not thinking about LAFC at the moment. We got 5 or 6 games in preseason before that to prepare for that, but it's definitely a goal of ours to advance in this competition and continue pushing forward.
Yeah, Matt, we're young. We might even get younger this year. We're dynamic. You can see that when we're healthy, we can play in and amongst the best teams in MLS. And when you think about our roster, yes, it's very different from a year ago. So last year was more changes needed. Now we're tweaking in little ways. Mainly, we wanted to shore things up in the back line, which I think we were aggressive straight away into the window and change that. And now we have other strategy when we think about guys who did come last year, Omir Fernandez, Sammy Vines, back in it for the first time, and other young players that it's now year 2, and that's important to just not bring people in over them, and it stunts the growth. That's how we're looking at this. But there's still time in the window. We have targets. We want to improve, and we'll only improve by adding the right players. And now, when you're in that tweaking mode, it's not always so easy to land those profiles. So we're hungry. We're hunting. And if we find it, we add it. But we like our roster this time and at the moment, and ready to get going.
Chris, I'm curious your thoughts on the rookie class, who you've seen, who you've talked to, and who you think can come in and play a role on the first team.
It's always a tough one, who can play a role into the first team, because they all have qualities that we think are first team, level, to be honest with you. We're staring at one right now, and Sam, that his ability to cover ground, box to box, ideas and final third qualities, shooting ability, longer range passing, will to win that is strong. This is first team, so we got to see how this all looks with these guys. But if we moved up in the draft to get Alex Harris, the boy from Cornell, 19 goals. His movements along a back line are very different. He's quick, he's fast, the ball pops off his foot. So I'm not going to go through it. We drafted a couple of center backs that have physical profiles and good mentality and are aggressive. Sidney Watuda, you could see from Vermont that he runs by people like it's, they're standing still. Every guy has a high-end superpower that we think can translate. That's why we're bringing them to preseason. We want guys to get a look straight away, and we don't want to waste any time pushing these guys and out of their comfort zones, to be honest.
Cole, back here. Chris Tavares, 9 News. What's your level of excitement and sense of pride that you said you'd never gotten to play with your brother before, and now you're going to get to do so professionally, where you're both getting paid to do it? How excited are you for this opportunity, and what's your level of pride as an older brother?
Yeah, just a lot of pride. It's a special moment for us, our family as well. We've grown up playing soccer since I think we were 4 years old, and it's been a long journey getting here. I can remember doing this day. Mine didn't quite look like this 7 years ago, but it's pretty exciting how the games continue to grow and how he's stepping into a league now that is a tough competition. It's a lot different than when I came in, but I'm super excited for him. He's earned this. I said it before, but he created his own path. It wasn't anything to do with that I'm on the first team already. He's definitely made it. He took a different path going the college route, and he did everything that he needed to do there, and took full advantage of it. And now he's here, and I'm excited to see how he does and how he proves himself. Just like Coach said, it's no minutes are guaranteed for any of us. So you got to go into preseason and battle and get after it. And I think that's what I'm excited to see him do, because I know he can do it. It's just a matter of once you get in there, actually performing. So yeah, just immense pride for me and my family.
Cole, last time around this year, obviously it's a new system, new players, just so much trying to figure out during training camp. But for somebody like you who can move throughout the formation and do different things, especially, you have the deep cross in Leagues Cup and some of those goals, you kind of figured out your role in the system. What does it mean to you to come into a second training camp now with, some similar players, but with a better idea of how you can impact this system, and how does that help you kind of build chemistry with the different roles that you can play at this team?
It's definitely exciting. I think last year at this time, I didn't know exactly which position I was going to fill with this team. Djordje was just coming in, but we were similar positions at the time of what we had been playing. So I didn't know exactly how we both fit into that role. And I think we've found the two roles that suit us best. Because at first I thought one of us was going to be playing wide on that left-hand side. But I think we both found our best roles in the system. And now it's, kind of building around us and building around the rest of the team that was already here last year. Now we have a core group that's done it for a year, and we know his system and how well it can do for us. When we do the right things. In the middle of the year, we were scoring a bunch of goals, and we were fun to watch, and I think we need to continue to do that. And then, yeah, we'll see if we add a few more pieces here, if, the group that we have is ready to go. But either way, that's not our job. It's our job as players to be ready, and the guys that are already here just continue to lead and, yeah, lead us into a new chapter for this club and this group, because I think we have another step to take.
Hey guys, good to see you again. Brian with Burgundy Wave. Last year was similar in that we have the early start, the extra competition. But Cole, you referenced it a little bit too. Things were different for Chris and Djordje just coming in, getting a handle on the situation. How is it different this year as far as what do you think the advantages are going to be to this early start? What are you looking to take advantage of, a type thing? And my follow up, I got a question from the back here. First training crossbar challenge between the Bassett brothers. Who wins? Thanks, you guys.
Yeah, I can answer that first. I hope it's not me. I used to do crossbar a lot, and I ended up having like the league record for post hit, or I had the most post hit in a year for MLS. So I don't like playing that game no more. So I'll let him win that.
We just that it's such a different place than last year. Last year was so much about coming in with a vision and being strong in that belief, but very clear and proposing a way to these guys, right? It's just some magnets, some video, and having an idea where this could go with real support from up top. That's how I felt coming in. They selected me to be here, and then you got to get to work. So now, again, where I started with this press conference was so much of that was good. We scored a lot of goals. We played an attractive brand. We won at home. We covered a lot of ground in the league. We went toe to toe, whether it's the Miamis, the LAs, in different moments. Like we show we belong, and that what we're doing can work. So if we say that's our foundation, as now we come in, like Cole said, where we're clear on it, we know what to do. Day one of preseason is where we're picking up running. It's not so much about magnets here or there for some of the new guys, yes, but we're picking up where we left off, and we're getting clear, doubling down on who we are. You have to kind of reinforce that day one to just get guys excited, but I think it's getting 1% better at everything that we do, having a bit more urgency what we do. These two guys, you can see, and I can hear it already in the voices. Again, the fan base should be excited that these guys are on this team and that they're the leaders of this team, this top talent that we have here. And it makes, like, here I am, I know these guys. I've invested as people and players. I know what they're good at. I know how to push them where they need to grow, what buttons to push to get the reactions that I need. And we're just at a different place. We're just in a hunger mode and more like relentless for more. That's where we're at. We want more out of this. Wasn't enough. And we all know it's going to get tougher in 2025. If we look around, the LAs are getting better. Other teams are doing this and that, but we don't really care. We're focusing on what we have. So it's really a year later. We have a strong foundation. Now let's tweak it to just that percentage more that we need to go to.
Last one for me, Cole. I'm sure you saw Robin Fraser got hired as the new head coach at Toronto FC. What do you make of your old coach going back to TFC? Thank you.
Yeah, happy for him. It's a place he's familiar with. Exciting for him. I think, he did well here. We obviously had a great run for 3 years that we were together. So wish him nothing but the best. It'll be exciting to see how he, adapts from here to Toronto and how they do there. It's obviously a different conference, so I don't think we play him this year, but yeah, excited to see how they do. And, maybe you never know if certain players that were here end up going there. We'll see, but it's exciting for him, and I was glad to see that this morning.
We'll go ahead and take one more question.
Yeah, sure.
Thank you. Here, Rodrigo Camacho from Univision. Chris, what would you say is harder as a challenge now that you were talking about last year, having to change and maybe establish your idea last year, or maybe trying to take another step forward in terms of what you did last year, now that you were talking about the ambitions and all that stuff? What would you say is harder as a challenge for you?
It's a good question. I'm not sure. I'm not gonna try to convince you that I know the answer to that. It's a very good question. I would say that a year ago, this is a big challenge, right? To come into a club that I think at that very moment I was looking. This is exactly what I needed, and in some ways maybe the Rapids could use me, you know. But at one stage it was only an idea, and now I think a lot of people can stand up here and tell you what they'll do and blah blah blah. We're going to be team first. We're going to attack. Blah, you know, all these words, and the fact that we were competing for trophies along the way, that we lifted one along the way, that all that stuff was accomplished. I think that was good. You know what I'm saying? And I think that I wasn't sure. Who knows, right? That's only an idea. So I think that was a big accomplishment and something that's not so common and easy. So I in the end, maybe I've talked myself into, imagine I say this, that year two, I think we're not sneaking up on anyone in 2025. I think, you know, we were hunting and we're going to be hunted a little bit more. Like, I think that this can be challenging. However, we're at a better place, you know, and we're going to be better at who we are. I can assure that. We're a team that will play front-footed, intensive football with guys that are all in on it. And we're doubling down on that. So I think that although second year is going to be really challenging for the head coach, I think it's going to be some different challenges than it was a year ago. So I'm not sure if I answered your question. But okay.
We'll take one last one from Charlie Boehm, MLS.
Hi, can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Thanks for your time. I was just wondering if Cole and Djordje, if you guys heard from the national team staff this winter, if January camp was a possibility for you, and maybe Chris as well, you know, what the pros and cons are of getting your group in at the club level versus having guys off at camp.
Yeah, I can say I was included in that camp, except that my injury kind of kept me off of it. I wasn't fully healthy to participate in that.
I was on the reserve roster. So yeah, wasn't included in the final list, but yeah, I guess if you take the positives of it, you know, we're here with the group for the entirety of preseason, and you're not coming in with, you know, 2 weeks left before the first game. So obviously we'd love to be there, but can't control who picks those lists. And yeah, just got to continue performing here at club level, and yeah, excited to be with this group for the next 5 weeks.
Pochettino, yeah, he asked to see how I was doing, my hips and knees. I think they wanted me to get in there for Tyler Adams and some of these guys that need some mentoring. I don't even know the question that you asked me. Can you ask me again? What was does anyone know that question about?
Hey, Chris, would you prefer to have your guys all together in this fashion, or would there benefits for you and your group for having players getting that exposure with the national team?
No, I anytime these guys can get into that level, that environment, it's better for them and it's better for us. Once we start thinking it's, you know, a few more days together for the X's and O's, this is the big picture. I think we're missing it. Right now it's Zach, but anytime these guys can get exposed to the next level where things are moving faster, where the challenges are greater, believe me, it's a good thing. And then we manage when they come back to camp. So, and their dreams are my dreams. I tell you that. Our club, Porrig Smith, the Olympics are examples of these moments where we know stress might come, but this is good for these players, and we can't lose sight of that.
We'll pause for about 10 more minutes, and then we'll come right back with Sam and Brian Crookham.